Hello, welcome back to Mark's Garden UK. In this video I'm going to tell you how you can get beautiful red berries on your holly. I'm also going to share with you 10 fascinating facts about holly, which is a native English hedging plant. Now this is the wildlife corner of my garden. There's the wildlife pond. Here is my wildflower meadow, and at the back as a backdrop I've got two species of native plants. Fantastic for wildlife, but also fantastic for hedges. I've got hawthorn and I've got holly, and up there is a holly covered in beautiful red berries. We'll come to that in a moment because I want to show you something else first. This is my wildflower meadow, and just look how well it's doing. It's the middle of October. I'm in a t-shirt. It's a beautiful, warm, almost summer-like day, and this wildflower meadow is still jam-packed full of flowers. And if you want to know how to create a wildflower meadow, there's a video on my channel and I'll link to it at the end of this video. But I just wanted to show you that it's still a mass of flowers which are great for the pollinating insects, and some of those insects will be going into hibernation soon, so they'll be feasting on this. And at the back there I put lots of sunflowers. Now they've been blown over in the wind. I'm quite relaxed about that because as they blow over they're kind of making contact with the hedge, and I'll be leaving them there all winter, and the birds in the hedge can come feed off them. Some of them may lean on the floor and the rodents can have them. Let's go and talk about how to get beautiful red berries on your holly. Now the holly I want to talk to you about is up here. It forms part of this hedge. There's a backdrop to my wildlife garden, and it's absolutely covered in beautiful red berries. And I have noticed that some of the hollies in this hedge don't have any berries on them, whereas some of them here, one over there and another in the far corner of the garden, are festooned with beautiful red berries. Why is that? And how can you get berries on your holly? And why do some of my hollies not have berries on them? Well, the answer to the question is plain and simple and easy. Holly is known as a dioicous plant, which means that some of the plants have male parts and some of them have female parts, and you've got to have both male and female plant in close proximity to each other in order to get berries. The berries appear on the female plant, but the pollen comes from the male plant. So now you understand why, if you've only got female plants in your garden, you're not getting any berries. And that explains why some of my plants don't have berries on, because they are the male ones. But in the springtime, when both plants produce flowers, both will flower, and the pollen from the male ones will be brought to the female flowers by insects, and they will be pollinated. And that is why I've got so many berries in my garden. And these are lovely and red. Some of them higher up are even redder, but they don't start off red. They start off green, then they go amber, and then they go a deep red. Now, holly berries are the food source for all 5 of the UK native thrush species. Thrush is a bird. And the missel thrush will claim a holly tree as its territory and defend it fiercely. This holly tree could be the home to a single missel thrush, and it will defend these berries, and it will make a lot of noise in doing so. So let's talk about some of the other fascinating facts about the holly tree. Now you might be forgiven for thinking that the fruit is that beautiful red berry. In actual fact, the fruit is the stone in the middle of that berry, which is also the seed. And the seed is dispersed by birds, so they eat that. They're attracted to the red colour, they eat it, they take some energy from it, and then the stone goes through their digestive tract and is excreted somewhere else, and that's how this plant is propagated and dispersed. Now these leaves here are very sharp and prickly, and it's actually a little bit painful for me to be stood here leaning against it. A fascinating fact is the leaves are only prickly up to a certain height, and that is deer height. It's to stop the deer from eating them. This plant has evolved to have less prickly, more smooth leaves further up. The less prickly, smoother leaves must be more efficient, but it does have these lower down as a deterrent to stop deers from eating the leaves. Now, while these prickly leaves might deter the deer at the base of the plants, they don't deter all species, because the holly leaf is the food source of around 30 different invertebrates, including the caterpillar of a particular species of butterfly called the holly blue butterfly. Now, these holly leaves might be great for the invertebrates, and these berries might well be great for the birds, but you mustn't eat them yourself, because raw holly berries are actually toxic to humans. Now, holly berries are, of course, associated with Christmas. Why is that? Well, of course, it's because the berries appear just before Christmas. They're very colourful, and they can be pruned off in the late autumn and used in arrangements over the Christmas period. The flower for the holly berry appears in the spring, April and May, and the berries mature November, December, and that is why it's associated with Christmas. And we know that this holly can be propagated by seeds being dispersed by birds, but there is another way of propagating holly quite easily, through hardwood cuttings, and there's a video on holly hardwood cuttings on my channel, and if you've got the patience to do it, it's relatively easy. I'll link that video at the end of this one. But if you've got the patience, and in 12 months time you could have quite a few free holly plants. So there you go, a concise and easy guide as to how you can get beautiful red berries on your holly. It's really straightforward. These plants are known as dioicous plants, which means that some of the plants are male and some are female, and you've got to have both in close proximity in order for the flowers of the female to be pollinated, and the female will produce these beautiful berries in the autumn time. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you've enjoyed my fascinating facts about the holly plant. See you soon for some more hollyberry adventures. Bye for now.